Hello and welcome to the Social Media Mixer. My name is Stacy Kinney and I'll be your host this evening. This presentation is brought to you by mybrandingsystem.com, which I'm excited to be affiliated with. That is what I do. I help people with branding and personal branding, which is a hot topic these days, how to integrate it with social media, really streamline your business and get you up and going. It's just a wonderful system with great value. So whether you're an affiliate with mybrandingsystem.com or not, this call is for everyone. It's educational, and tonight's topic is burning questions. These are questions that people I talk with day in and day out. They asked me, so I felt like this was a great format to be able to do this and share the answers. So let's go ahead and get started. So one of the first questions I had was, what is the best way to use social media? And we probably hear this a lot, that social media is not a direct to sales platform. In other words, people think I'm going to go join social media and I'm going to sell my product. It is social, and I underline that. It's a social platform where you and your customers get to know each other. It's almost like a networking event. It gives you the opportunity to engage and build a relationship with a person. Social networking belongs in the first two tiers of your sales funnel, where you are working to get attention and generate interest in your business. Now, for those of you that haven't heard about a sales funnel, this is something you definitely want to look into a little bit further. I did a presentation on this earlier, but that's what it's all about. If you're looking to market your business, your product or service, you want to think of it as a sales funnel. And obviously the first two things is you've got to create attention and get interest. And that's why I feel so strongly about creating your presence online, and especially having a blog site. The best use of social media is to let people know you exist. How do they even know you're out there, right? If you don't have some kind of presence, if you're not using social media and you don't have a blog site, they don't even know you exist. You do this by engaging people in your target marketing. So this can be accomplished either talking directly to them, you can be providing quality content that's relevant to their needs, and offering opportunities to participate. So what do I mean by that? When you're using social media, what I do and what I see most experts out there doing is they're providing articles and content, or even third parties, things that are helping to be consistent with their brand or their message and their product. So for instance, I'm usually talking about social media, the ways that you can use it, the tools, business, to streamline yourself and so forth in personal branding. Now examples include, this may be some ways that you could use it, commenting on their status updates. So if you see somebody with a status update, make a comment. Ask them questions. That's a great way to get people to engage with you through social media. You can post their links to interesting articles, or you can post, like I said, to third party. For me, I do Mashable, Social Times, Social Media Today, because these are things that are relevant to my brand. Holding a contest where people can win something. Something really cool, awesome, whatever. Just think about it, get creative. How do you determine the best outlet? Well, because social media is so popular, there are tons of sites out there. You see this little graphic that I have here. This is just almost unbelievable to me, that how many sites are popping up all over the internet, all these different sites to choose from. But of course, we know some of the big ones, which are Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn. So what I suggest is that for business owners, the first thing you should do is create a professional profile with LinkedIn. Because these profiles show up in search results. Like if you Google, a lot of times you'll see LinkedIn come up very high in the search results. So even if you don't currently have a website, prospects will still be able to find information about you, which is extremely important for creating trust. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but like 80 million names are Googled every day. And that's why I'm so passionate about and so excited about personal branding, because I think it's huge. People are Googling your name, and if they're not finding you, and you're in sales or you're marketing, or you have a business, then that's just not acceptable. So definitely, if you're a business owner, you're a technical recruiter, you're a CEO, like LinkedIn is a very professional place, and that's where they hang out. So that could be a good source for you. A little bit more on that, talking about the Twitter and Facebook. Well, a lot of people are on Twitter and Facebook. We've heard it, and of course, with the movie The Social Network that came out last year, it's created a lot of buzz, and Facebook is just growing leaps and bounds. But you definitely want to create accounts here as well. Even if you only have time for one, let's say, and you're just getting started, my recommendation, this is just me, is Facebook. Unless, like I said, if LinkedIn, that could be your thing. If you're that, my best example is a technical recruiter, because that's where you're going to find a lot of people on LinkedIn. But Facebook, there's a group feature. I feel like there's an easier way to target your market there and really create a community, and that's also why fan pages have become so popular. After that, the best social network for you is determined by your target market. So, where are they hanging out? And that's what I kind of said before. Maybe it's more on LinkedIn, it's Twitter, it's Facebook. You have to figure out what it is, and who you're trying to target, and then figure out, well, where they're hanging out. The more niche specific the social network is, the better, and the more targeted leads. So for an example, let's say you sell crafts on Etsy. Then your target market is probably going to be primarily women. So joining female-centric, something lifestyle-focused, or even green living networks is going to probably be best for your business. Maybe even mommy blogs, if that's your target market, depending on what you're doing. So just think about who that is, and then those are the types of places that you want to go. There's all types of networks out there that are more specific. So what makes good social media content? This is definitely a big one, and a lot of people are always wondering, well, what do I do, or what do I put out there on Twitter? What do I say? Who cares, Well, in social media, the best content, I would say, is the type that gets customers talking to and about you. So this can vary from business to business and network to network. But if you can engage people, obviously, if you can make a post on Facebook and you have 3 or 4, 5, 6 more comments, then that's good content. You're stirring up some stuff there and engaging. And on Twitter, if you're getting a lot of people that are retweeting you, then you're doing something right. In general, though, I'd say the majority of content you produce should be genuine conversation with other members of the site. Talking to people will give you insight into what they need and how your business fits in with their goals. Now, this is a big one, and I want to stress this because, social media is exactly what it says. It's social, it's networking, it's relationship building. Think of it more of like a party. But this is what I do. Even when I talk to people on the phone for the first time, it's not about me. It's not about selling my product or my service. They may not even be a good fit. But I ask a lot of questions and get to know that person, and they'll generally tell me whether they're a fit for what I do or not, or if there's somebody I want to work with. You should also promote other people when you can, and this is a good way to get in their good graces. And I do this a lot on Twitter. I retweet a lot of people, I promote them. I have people, we kind of like, I scratch your back, you scratch my back. It's really awesome, and it's just a great way to, build relationships and trust, and also get your name out there. You should also post links to content that informs, educates, and or entertains the people in your target audience. So your goal, now remember, is to become a trusted outlet for information in your industry that is of interest to your prospects. Good things to post are new pieces, informative blog posts, and useful or entertaining videos. So let's say you are a real estate agent, okay? Then obviously you want to be posting things that make sense and are relative for your industry, whether it's what's going on in your local market, the housing, if it's, all those types of things. Maybe you can come up with some creative things that you're doing, with the homes, like, staging them and so forth. So there's so many great things that you can do to really attract attention and great leads. Now, while advertising your business is acceptable, you don't want to overdo it and spam your readers. And you guys probably are sitting here saying, I've seen those people before, right? Where it's constantly about me, my business, my opportunity, my product, whatever it is. And I mean, who really wants that? You know, like I said, it's about networking and relationship building. I look at it this way. You know, I'm out there to meet people and learn about them and see how I can help them. And you know, sometimes they can help me. And if I can connect people and help people, then, and you have that kind of attitude about you, guess what? It comes back to you. So that's just me personally, and that's how I've found it to be, you know, working, just connecting people. And really great stuff can happen. Now, how to gain exposure for your videos. So for any of you that are out there doing video marketing and maybe you haven't, or you're a little nervous, or you know, I hear people say, oh, I just don't look good in video, or I'm waiting till I lose weight. You know what? Just stop. Okay? Just do it already, because I'm here to tell you that video is huge. I mean, think about it. Do you want to watch a video or do you want to read text? I'd say that probably 90% of people would say they want to watch a video. So how are you going to gain more exposure for those videos? Well, most of the videos that go viral, you know, they're entertaining in nature. So if you really want a viral video, you've got to be creative. You know, a viral video starts with the content. So you've got to determine what that message is and who you want to get it out to, and figure out ways to say it creatively. You know, example, and I use this a lot, a real estate agent, you know, they could do a funny video using actors to illustrate on things that you should be aware of when looking for a home. I mean, think about it. That could be something viral. It could just be like a little spoof thing or something, if that's what your goal is. You know, if you're promoting a site, be sure to include the link in your video. So that's a big thing too. When you're putting your YouTube videos, or if you're putting out on MetaCafe or wherever it is, always make sure to include a link. That's definitely a big deal. A catchy title and a description that includes your keywords. Now, you can have the best video in the world, but your title must inspire people to click on it and watch it. I mean, think about it. How many times do you see a great title and just catches your attention? It may not even be that great of a content or article. So really try to make that catchy title, because that's the first impression. Now, here's an example of a video that I did, and when I say catchy, it doesn't have to be like the millions of dollars that are spent out there like on the Old Spice ads or whatever, but 5 steps to producing an awesome video tutorial. You know, people like numbers, 5 steps, list, checklist, one, you know, all those types of things. So this is just an example. And here's one that I tried to get funny with. You know, the economy sucks, and what are you going to do about it? So, you know, maybe with somebody say, oh, what's going on? I might want to check that out. So, you know, just get creative and play around with things and have fun with it. Another question here, what is the benefit of FireFox browser? You know, because there's a lot of different browsers out there. 5 major browsers on the market at this time. You've got Internet Explorer, the Firefox, Opera, Chrome, and Safari. And as of November 2010, Firefox had become the most popular browser by 44%, followed Internet Explorer at 28%. Now, I happen to use this browser, but I actually had somebody ask me this question. I love it for a lot of reasons. Some of here we're going to go over, because they offer thousands of add-ons and extensions that can help you run your online business better and be more efficient. And I'm all about that. If you don't know me by now, I am all about streamlining and being efficient. One of the plugins here, Ad Block Plus. So this will help to block those ads that are annoying, right? The pop-ups, the autoplay video ads, anything else that annoys you like that. So that's a pretty cool plugin. Video Download Helper. This allows you to download YouTube videos to your hard drive so you can watch them later. And I know there's a lot of times that you want to do that, so this will allow you to do that. Xmarks. You can port bookmarks and passwords between multiple computers using this plugin. And then there's FireFTP. It lets you upload files to your website using your browser instead of the standard protocol program. Some of this is a little technical for you guys, don't worry about it. I try to make this for beginners and advanced and so forth, but just some cool things that you might want to check out. How to gain exposure for videos. Share the link on all the social networks that you are on, as well as your blog. And I think this slide is out of place, so I apologize for that, but hey, we'll keep on going. Send the link to people you know and ask them to share it with their friends. So anytime you make a video, it makes sense, right? You want to try to get it out there to as many people as you can. Ask for help. Say, can you comment on my video? Check it out, that kind of thing. Upload the video to more than one sharing site. YouTube is not the only game in town, all right, guys? You've got MetaCafe, Vimeo, the Daily Motion. There's a lot of other ones out there. Connect with other members of the site with similar content and ask them to promote your video. Be nice and humble about it. So you might want to connect with some people on YouTube that if they're in the same industry that you are, then you might be able to, like I said, scratch their back, they scratch your back. Send it to people on your email list. So back to the FireFox add-on. Sorry about that little detour. Now we've got, I don't know how to pronounce it, Yono, whatever it is, but hey, it's a plugin that you can view the updates from all of your social networks in one place instead of logging into multiple sites. So you actually put this in and then you can see everything right there in your browser. So it's pretty cool. The next one is Feedly. If you're using an RSS reader to stay updated on your favorite blogs, then this application actually compiles all the feeds and it'll display them in a magazine style that's easier to read. If you don't know what an RSS reader is, don't worry about it. It just allows you to be able to stay up to date with different blogs and get the latest articles and so forth. You might want to do a Google search if you're not familiar with that. You've got G-Translate. It's a language translator that helps you read articles written in other languages. It's not always accurate, but it's good enough that you'll be able to get the gist of the content. Multiple tabs. This is probably one of my favorites because you can just open up all these different tabs, and being the little multitasker that I am, and I know it's not really good to be that way, but hey, I've got like 10 tabs open at one time, you know, and so I just love that feature. Personas, not a tool so much, but it's a plugin. It allows you to personalize the look of your browser and thousands of designs and so forth, because that's just kind of a little fun one, but nothing that really, you know, helps in your business or anything. And then one of my absolute favorites, and a friend of mine told me about this, it's called Billio. And it actually does bill pay, it'll track all your online purchase receipts, it'll autofill the passwords and fill your forms out. So in other words, every time I go to a site, it'll automatically pull up my passwords. And then if I go to a site, you know, when you're checking out, let's say you're making a purchase, you have to fill out that long form that's so annoying. Well, you can just go up and hit a little button and it'll just boom, it fills out the whole page for you. So I love it. That's why I put a little heart there. So that I'm actually going to write a blog post on that and do a video, because that's just been awesome for me. It's been amazing. What kind of analytical tools are available? Now, there are thousands, okay? Thousands upon thousands of analytical, can't even say it. Okay, tools out there. If you have your own web hosting, chances are that you already have an analytical software built into the control panel of your site. Now, some of the common ones installed by web hosts are Allstats, Webalizer, and Referrer Tracker. So I know that I'm excited. I don't actually have to know all of this stuff, I'll be honest, because I have my branding system blog site, and I go back there and it says stats, and it's a beautiful little graph, and it tells me all these pretty things and cool things and who visits my sites and what keywords. So I just love having that. It's a big plus for me because really, like I said, come on, it can get overwhelming. But outside of your host provider, some of these are Google Analytics, which we've heard a lot about, Stat Counter, and SiteMeter. All three of them provide the same basic information, but now Google Analytics is really the most comprehensive, but it takes 24 hours to update. So your statistics for today won't be available in tomorrow. Well, all I know that is in the back end of my blog, I see it as it happens. I can go make a post and I can see my numbers go up and I can see where they're coming from. So I love that. That is so cool. Stat Counter and SiteMeter updates immediately. Not as comprehensive though, okay? So WordPress users out there, hundreds of plugins, okay, that you can install in your back office. Here's just a couple for those of you that don't have a My Branding system and you got to find something. What's Up? And then you got WP Stats and Live WordPress plugin. So that should be able to help you a little bit with your stats. Now, analyzing your site, some stats are more important to track than others. So, hey, it's nice. You want to see how many people are visiting your blog, right? But here's the thing that you should look at. You want to pay attention to the posts that are getting the most hits, because then you want to create similar content so you can increase the number of visits to your site. If a lot of people are hitting that post, then you're obviously creating some interest, so you should keep writing on that subject. Keywords, people are using to get to your site. This is going to tell you how you're doing in the search engine. So it's also a way for you to get inspiration of additional content. Wow, people are searching on this. I should probably write some more stuff on it. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? Referrals. Now, how people are finding your site, whether it's through the search engines, is it through Facebook and Twitter, or article directories and other websites? So paying attention to where your traffic is coming from. The returning visitors. Now, this tells you people coming back to your site. And the higher this number, the more loyal your readership. This is what you really want to have happen. And then your bounce rate. This is going to tell you how many people visit your site and leave without looking at anything else. So if you have a lot of people doing this, probably not a good thing. You're going to want to look at your content, reevaluate, and get something a little more juicy. And then the visit length. How long is a person on your site? How many pages? How long? If the longer they're on there, the more likely they are to engage with your money-making content. Did you guys hear that? Money-making content. Because your site, your blog, that's like your home base. That's your brand. That's who you are. That's where you drive everyone to, and you just make it all work for you. Facebook etiquette. So I had a couple of people that said, Stacy, we really need to talk about this, Facebook etiquette and Twitter etiquette. These, things are just driving me crazy out here. And I see it all the time, and you probably do too. Don't friend people to spam them. Friend them to get them to know them better. I hate when somebody connects with me and right away they're like, you need to check out this site. You're going to make thousands of dollars. Yeah, good luck, buddy. Come on. Who wants that? I mean, if you get a friend request from someone you don't want to friend, refer them to your Facebook fan page. Especially if you use Facebook to post personal stuff that you only want your close friends and families to see. So I see a lot of people doing that. They have a personal page, and now they've started their fan page that's more business. They're kind of keeping it separate. And that's a personal choice. That's up to you. Likewise, don't be offended if someone doesn't friend you. Most of the time, hey, it's not personal. Your business fan page is for business stuff, so leave the personal stuff on the personal page. Don't post anything on Facebook that you wouldn't want broadcasted on the 6 o'clock news. And when sending out a friend request, I always suggest that you personalize the message. This is good, especially if you meet somebody at an offline event. Maybe you want to refresh their memory. I mean, I try to do it for the most part. Anytime I request a friend, I'm like, hey, so-and-so, I met you here. Or I know you through so-and-so, and this is how, and I'd love to connect with you. I mean, why not just go ahead right then and make the connection and start engaging and talking? I mean, I see people that friend, like, let's say they friend 100 people. They never make any personal communication. And then what happens? They're lost in those 3,000 friends that they have, and then how do you ever really re-engage that? Why not make the first impression? So that's like my number one tip. Share what's important. Unless you're a chef, no one really wants to know what you had for breakfast. So keep that in mind. Although, if you went out to a fabulous dinner and had a great meal and you wanted to share it, yeah, I mean, and sometimes I might talk about what I had for breakfast, but it's not like an ongoing thing. I mean, you get the point. You want to keep it as professional, and just remember that everything you put out there on the internet sticks, and it's your message and it's your brand, and perception is everything. So just be aware of that. Don't send out an invite to everything and everyone and every friend. Too many and you'll be unfriended. Ask before you tag people in a photo. Now, most people value their privacy and they may not mind you uploading photos, but they may not want you to put their name on it or something. Or maybe if you're out at a party this weekend and your friends are uploading photos, you might need to say, hey, it's just some people don't really know what's appropriate and what's not. Use your judgment here, Respond to comments on your status updates. Speaking of photos, you may want to avoid uploading ones of you drinking inappropriately dressed, anything that's sexually suggestive. Like I said, depending on what you want your reputation to be. How do you want to be perceived? That's what you always have to think with every post and every picture and everything that you do. How do you want to be perceived? Take personal issues to private messaging. Don't air out the laundry in public, and it can destroy both of your reputations. Whoever, like if you're fighting or whatever it is. Thank people when they like or share your content, and don't talk about your business all the time. And we kind of went over that before. Please, please don't. Twitter etiquette, very similar to Facebook, but it's definitely about being social. They're interested in what you have to say, not to spam them all the time with your sales message. We see this a lot. Reply. How about just replying if somebody messages you? Right? Being responsive. That would be a great thing. You'd be surprised how many people don't. Direct messaging should be used sparingly. In other words, you don't want to constantly be sending people messages with your sales message, or you'll be reported for spam. If you're going to be tweeting a lot, like I do, and it says here too, if because of a live tweeting event, maybe it's a Twitter chat, whatever it is, let your followers know beforehand so they can filter you out. Some people, I actually had a friend one time, she said, "Oh my gosh, Stacy, I had to unfollow you because you were blowing up my phone." I was like, "Oh yeah, you can't do that." I just happen to be a very heavy tweeter. You don't want me on your phone. So I warn people ahead of time, close friends, and I may get unfollowed from some people for that, but that's the way I roll, I guess you would say. And everybody has a different take on how they want to do it, and that's fine. Take personal problems to private arena, such as the private messaging or an email. Keep the tweets relevant, provide value. I always try to provide value, whether it's third party or articles and videos from my blog. Thank people when they share your content. I always try to thank people if I can. I hate it if I miss people. There's a lot of people I'm networking with on a daily basis, but definitely thank them. It makes a big difference. And retweet other people. Engage them in conversation. That's number one. Always try to engage. Why don't you just make a goal to engage one person every day in social media? I mean, how hard is that? It's not. So I hope all of you do that. One person a day, just actually start a conversation with and see what happens. Great things can happen. I've met so many amazing people that I'm working with now that are referring to me, that back and forth, just amazing things through social media. Try to use a professional picture for your avatar. And when I say professional, it doesn't have to be, done at the studio or whatever it is, but nice. It looks good. Not too crazy. And avoid using foul language. If I ever see anybody using foul language, then I immediately unfollow them. So how do I get people to view me as an expert? This is another question I had. Remember that when a person, what they perceive is reality. And you hear that all the time. So if your name comes up in association with a particular topic often enough, then people are going to begin to think of you as an expert on it. Well, that's kind of what started happening to me as I started building my brand. Is my name was associated with personal branding and social media, and so a lot of my friends and colleagues started to think of me like that, and it's really been a great experience because now I get people referring to me, and people coming to my blog and actually contacting me, and that's how I'm being perceived because that's what I'm putting out there. You can start a blog and write about the issues relevant to your industry or your target market, just like I've done. You can post articles also to these article directories on the same topics, so the other sites that'll get exposure and traffic back to your blog. And then you'll be seen, you can be seen with other experts in the industry. So let's say you have some friends or some people through Twitter, and I see this, and we're starting to do this a lot as a group, where you guest blog on their sites. So you're leaving intelligent comments on their articles, vice versa, and you might even write an article on each other's blogs. So that's going to help both of you gain exposure and third-party credibility. Connect with prospects and offer solutions to their questions and problems. That's a big one. Always being there to say, well, how can I help you? And people really appreciate that. Get interviewed by others in the industry. That's big. There's a lot of people out there in the same industry doing interviews, little videos, blog talk radios, all kinds of stuff that you can do to get more exposure. And your bio should definitely highlight your experience in the industry. You want to have a little bit of personal, but you want to have the highlight of who you are and what you do, so people can see immediately, what that is and what your brand is. Create videos displaying your expertise and distribute them. Try to get the media to talk about you. So this is another one. I was fortunate enough a year ago, very early on in this, to be asked to be on a local TV show. So that was pretty cool. Gave me some local exposure. And, so there's things like that that can happen in different events and networking and tweet ups and meeting people out there in the media. So that's more ways to get and be seen as an expert. Be consistent in your marketing and your brand development. So getting to some of the fun parts that I like, because I always talk about streamlining my social media marketing, and how do you do it? Well, after, let's say, a year or so, I finally figured out that I could not live on Twitter or Facebook 24/7. So I needed to automate some things. And automation is kind of a gray area out there in the social media world. I think that if you're smart about it and you use it in the context that I do, it makes sense. I don't believe in using automation for spamming people. But there are some tools like Plugio and TweetDeck or Ping FM that will help you post to multiple accounts at once. Some of them will help you do a little bit of scheduling ahead of time. I don't think there's anything wrong with planning out your day or planning out your week when it comes to anything, and especially social media. A lot of these tools that I've learned to use have helped me become more engaging and more involved in social media. So now when I'm there, I'm actually able to communicate, engage, and talk with people, which is the point. But I can still also get my message across as well. Aggregate your social networks so that you see them all in one place. Now, I tried this for a little bit, but I hear a lot of great things. Hootsuite is a good tool for this. I primarily use TweetDeck and some other tools, but this may be something you also want to check out. Set aside a specific time each day to do the social media task and stick to this time limit, otherwise you may get nothing done. So maybe you say, I want to spend 30 minutes a day on social media, 15 in the morning, 15, whatever it is, try to schedule that out so you can be efficient in your day. And that's what the next one says. You schedule it out so that you do a little bit every day. Integrate your blog to the social media outlets. So you can actually have your blog integrated with the Facebook or the Twitter. So I know right now with my branding system, it's automatic. So when you get a My Branding System blog, we have a little Facebook and Twitter app that you just download, and then so automatically every time I do a blog post, it goes out to my social networks, which is just amazing. That's just totally awesome, and I love it. Saves me a lot of time. I don't have to go posting all over the place. You can integrate the social tools into your blog so visitors can share your content. So like if you go to my blog at stacykinney.com, you'll see there's a lot of places where you can share, retweet, all that kind of stuff. You want to make it very easy for people to share your content. Continue to research and look for solutions that make it easier to stay on top of things. The fact that you are on this webinar, then you're all doing that. You're taking the time to learn, accelerate yourself in this industry and learn more about social media, and that's something I continue to do as well, and I hope that you all do, because it's ever changing out there. The internet is here to stay. Social media has been said the biggest shift since the Industrial Revolution, so we need to take note and get ourselves skilled and learn how to market ourselves and our business. So how do you get blog comments? Getting blog comments is a struggle for many bloggers. Like I said before, give to receive. I have a lot of people that, hey, if you comment on their blog, a lot of times they'll return the favor. Invite people to leave comments at the end of your articles. Ask for it, and ask a question at the end of your articles. Leave out a few things. Sometimes you might say, oh, well, here's 5 things that you could do, but there's really a few more, and then people say, oh, well, you forgot this, you forgot that. That's great. Get people talking. Respond to comments, but try to engage the commentator and try to engage them in conversation. So you want to get some stuff going there on your blog, but always try to respond to your comments if you can. And write content that'll get people talking. Sometimes, you might want to do some controversial topics, lessons learned, the mistakes you've made, blah, blah, blah. This encourages people to share their opinions and their experiences. So I think that's always a great, avenue to take. And reward comments. You can use a plugin like show top commentators, and it actually highlights the people who have left the most comments on your blog. So like on a post, and then you can see it. So you're almost kind of like promoting these people. And then interact on social media sites and ask for opinions on your articles. So if you're out there on Twitter or Facebook, hey, could you go check this out and let me know what your opinion is? Or leave a comment. I'd love to hear it. Something like that. How do I deal with conflict on social media outlets? This is always funny to me. I've not really ever had this happen. Just barely. A couple of times people have been a little bit rude, and I just kind of like, I don't know, handled it and then didn't really react to them. But anyway, I think if you're on social media for any length of time, I said it won't always be puppies and rainbows, because the longer you use it, the more likely you will run into some type of conflict on social media. But this is kind of what I did. You had to decide, is it worth it to engage? Even though somebody could enrage you, is it really worth it? That's what they want, right? So maybe the best thing to do is nothing, and some people just want to argue. You just have to use your judgment here. If it's a customer complaint, then you definitely want to ask them to contact you in private and try to resolve the matter for your customer. If someone's challenging your opinion on something, well, state your case respectfully. You can discuss the finer points of the issue, but don't let things get out of hand. Just always be cognizant, like I said, of what you're saying out there. Sometimes it's just good to, agree to disagree kind of thing. If you're being attacked, then respectfully stand up for yourself, cut them off, offer to talk to them in private. You might end up wanting to block them and not allow them, because it's just, come on, you don't have time for this. It's not high school, okay? So how do I make money? And we're wrapping up here, just a few more minutes, and I thought I'd end on this note because a lot of people are always asking me, okay, I'm on social media, I'm doing this, but how do I make any money? And guys, I have to tell you, a lot of you that are on this call that may have been using social media or looking for ways or trying to monetize, I was in the same boat for a while. I was learning all this great, wonderful information, but I wasn't really making any money doing it. I was learning a lot. And so here's some different ways that you can do that. I mean, despite what you've heard, social media is not a direct sales tool. It's a discovery tool. So it's a way for you and your prospects to find each other. However, social media can absolutely lead to sales. And that's probably the biggest problem, is that people are out there, oh, make money, click on my link, do this, and they think that they're just going to get rich overnight by sending out links and tweeting and spamming their whole social network. That's not how it is. It still comes down to relationship building, but you absolutely can make money. Now, the goal is to lure people into your sales funnel. We talked a little bit about that earlier, and this is where social media can really excel. You can use social media to find prospects, that targeted prospects that we talked about earlier, that can use your product, services, or your opportunity. And then you network with them. You get to know them, as I said earlier. Ask questions. Find out if they really are a fit. Are they somebody who would like your product? Are they somebody that's looking for a business opportunity? Whatever it is, that's how you're going to find out. And then, after talking with them, some of them are naturally curious, and they're going to click on your website to see what you're up to. So it's best that you link your blog rather than directly to your site, so they can see that you're providing something of value. Now, in this example, I'm actually picking on network marketing, because I see a lot of people out there putting their sales page, or even somebody selling an affiliate product. So the first impression is their sales capture page. I mean, that's a huge turnoff, right? But that's why I am so big on having your blog, because I feel like that's your home base, and you can really provide value and bring people back there, and they can get to know you and be educated about what you're doing and what you're selling, and whether or not they want to buy your product or service. So advertise your site within your postings, but don't overdo it to spamming. I think we've kind of hit home on that enough. Maybe you want to offer a valuable ebook or an email training course so that you can capture their email address on a mailing list and then keep in touch. So that's definitely a great way to build a list and have people to market to that want to be marketed to. You can use social media to find people to partner with, others that will help you extend your reach of brand. So like we talked a little bit before, hey, I'll help you, let's do this, let's promote each other. Write compelling tweets or status updates that capture the attention of your readers and link them to your sales page or affiliate products. If you're going to do this, and I say do it sparingly, but use the shortening services like bit.ly, or so it disguises the links, but it also tracks the links as well. So a lot of times if you have an affiliate product out there, it's like this long link and it says affiliate blah 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 /123 whatever it is. People know what it is and they don't want to click on it. Use contest giveaways. You can encourage followers to interact with you and your website. You can also link to affiliate products and services on your resources page of your blog. And we're wrapping up here, guys. If you haven't heard it enough for me tonight, I keep going back to this because this is what I have found to be the best thing for me, the best thing that I've ever done, is to get my blog with my branding system. If you see right here, it says recommended resources. So I set up this tab where I have all the things that I'm affiliated with, whether it's my branding system or systems and tools or Twitter tools or anything that I use, whether they're free, whether they're paid for, whether they're things that make me money. And now I have it all in one place, so I have all this traffic going to my blog where people can click on this and learn, and it can help them if it's for them. And it's also for a way for me to create revenue. And that's how I'm able to make money, and streamlining all of these things together and then integrating it with social media. And that's what it's about, guys. At the end of the day, if you're out here in business, and most of you that are on this webinar, it's because you want to know how to excel in your current business and how you're going to make money, how you're going to monetize this. And so here's some of the ways that you can do it. That's a lot of what we do at my branding system. I do it. I coach people. So it doesn't matter whether you're with my branding system or not. I still highly recommend that you get a blog. But if somebody got you on this call, get back with them. If you're somebody that I network with, get back with me, stacykinney.com. Anybody, feel free to reach out to me. I want to end on this slide tonight. I appreciate you guys being here, but this is just something that really stuck with me. Every step you take in life will leave a lasting impression. And I actually kind of came up with that because I made this slide with the little flip-flops down here, and thinking about branding, and when I'm always talking about what you say and how you're making that impression of who you are, and the fact that it sticks out there and it's always searchable with Google. But it's so true. Like, you have to think about who you want to be. How are you going to be perceived out there? When people Google you, when they go on social media, are they going to think that you're a kind person? Are they going to think that you're grateful? Do you have integrity? I mean, and maybe this isn't the person that you want to be, all of these words on this screen, but this is who I strive to be. And guys, you can always find me at stacykinney.com. Once again, brought to you by mybranding.com. I really appreciate you being on the call. And I will do this again the second Tuesday of every month. You can count on these webinars, and I hope that you found it to be helpful. Have a wonderful evening.